Hi there, China. So, you've sent us your first set of essays. Great job. Let's see what you wrote today. Okay, so the first one is schools. Should they be more entertaining or should they only educate? Let's see what you had to say about this topic. Okay, it is argued that whether school classes should be more entertaining or more focused on educating. I believe extracurricular activities are an essential part of education because they can motivate students to learn better and helps develop healthy personal skills. Okay, the first sentence was really problematic because there were a lot of grammar mistakes in it. Let's look at it. First of all, weather is spelled wrong. Okay, you spelled weather like rain, sleet, and snow, but you meant weather, W-H-E. All right, and then weather needs to be followed by some sort of a choice. So it is argued, well, I mean, you can't do it like this essentially. You have to offer some sort of a choice. So instead, let's get rid of the weather and instead say, it is argued that school classes should be more entertaining than focusing on education. Education, yeah, not educating. I mean, when you have a noun form of a word, it's best to use the noun form rather than the ing. Okay, now, if you really wanted to use weather, what you could have done instead is say, it is a matter of debate whether school classes should be more entertaining or focus on education. All right, but together, these words, these phrases don't go. All right? And extracurricular activities help without the S. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Other than that, you've done what you're supposed to do here, so fine. Let's keep going on here. Extracurricular activities during school hours S can make students learn better because the activities, they could help students to relax their brain. After long hour studies, well, that's not quite an expression. After many hours of study, that would work. The stressed out students always enjoy, okay, present tense, the interesting content of extracurricular activities such as music or sports. Their memory power can be improved by those activities. In addition, extracurricular activities can make study much more interesting, and many children are more motivated to do different tasks using a variety of tools. For example, a recent study released by Harvard University in the United States found that students in developed countries who participate in more extracurricular activities obtain higher scores in their high school enrollment exam. Let's see. Okay. All right, that's fine. It makes sense. So, fine. Just some grammar problems, really. All right, but let's move on and then see what you did in the next paragraph. Extracurricular activities help students develop better personal skills due to the social interactions among peers. All right, now here, look at this. You started both paragraphs with the exact same language. So if you're going to do that, at least provide a good linking device. So you could say here, extracurricular activities also help students develop better personal skills due to the social interactions amongst peers. Firstly, it could help they. Again, it's activities, they. So, firstly, they could help students develop communication skills which play a key role in their future job. Why? Tell me why. You have to explain it, okay? Don't just firstly, secondly. If something is going to help somebody, you have to explain to me how it helps them. Secondly, it could help, they could help students bring in healthy competition and learning, which motivates them to work hard as a team member to achieve better results. Why? Explain this to me as well. How do extracurricular activities do this? Finally, extracurricular activities can help a student's physical and mental development at an important stage. Why? In what way? Show me some proof. Okay, so what's happening here, China, is you've got these great ideas, but you're not backing any of them up. So what you do, essentially, is have a paragraph that is a list. Firstly, secondly, third, and finally, with no development whatsoever, no explanation, no illustration, and this is absolutely going to affect your task achievement score, because if you look at the band descriptors, it shows you that you need to support your answers with illustration. with some support, essentially. Okay? Now, another thing that I want you to be aware of is the length of your paragraphs. Take a look at this. This is at least, I didn't count them, but at least 2 or 3 lines longer than this paragraph. Okay? I know it might sound silly, it might sound like a detail, but I can assure you examiners are looking at this kind of thing. You want to try to balance your paragraphs out as much as possible. And furthermore, let's talk about one other thing that happened in the template, or that you learned about in the template that I didn't see here. I don't have that conclusion statement here that I would like to see, something that really rounds out your whole argument and then brings it back to that first sentence. So you didn't include that in either one of these paragraphs, okay? But this paragraph was really problematic because there's just no support for all of these answers, for all these arguments. All right, so in conclusion, schools should not be limited to education, as extracurricular activities can not only make students learn efficiently, but also improve their personal skills. That part's fine. Let's go on to your second essay. I think we've pretty much covered your first one. Let's talk about this. It's the enjoyable activity. Will it help students develop better skills and creativity than reading? Let's see what you did here. Okay, so it is argued that children who do fun-filled ED activities can develop better skills than reading. That's not correct. We have to fix this part of the sentence as well. It's not a proper comparison, so we have to fix it. Okay, let me try it a different way. It is argued that children who do fun-filled activities will develop better skills than they would from reading alone. That works, okay? This essay agrees with the statement because fun-filled ED activities can make children learn better and help children develop their personalities. Okay, now what you have here is a sentence that lacks any sort of cohesion, okay? You've used a lot of the same language, fun-filled activities, children, 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 but what you should be doing is linking these sentences better together with some pronouns, okay? So let's try it differently. This essay agrees with the statement because such activities can make children learn better and help develop their personalities. Okay, so you can see what I did. I just changed a couple of words around and then it becomes a much more cohesive sentence linked to the one before it. All right, moving on now. Children could learn more knowledge when being engaged in fun-filled activities rather than reading from textbooks. The reason behind this is twofold. Firstly, the fun-filled activities can make study much more interesting, and many children are more motivated to do different tasks using a variety of tools. Okay, where is your support? You have to explain it to me. Why? What's your evidence? How do you illustrate this idea? Okay, don't just assume that I know what you're talking about. Secondly, if children can work on a fun task at home, they can study at their own pace. All right, again, I need support for this. The creativity and memory power can be improved in a relaxed ED circumstance. That doesn't make sense. I think you mean environment instead. China, there is no support here. So you've got these ideas, but you're just kind of leaving them out in the wind without kind of anchoring them. And that anchor should be support, some example, some explanation, something which provides weight and proof to your argument. Okay, now another thing that I want to talk about is this repetition of vocabulary. Fun-filled ED activities. Let's look at how many times I've seen it in this essay so far. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm just at the beginning of the third paragraph. Too much. You should use other expressions, okay? Find synonyms for this. Enjoyable activities, recreational activities focusing on fun. I mean, there are myriad options here. You need to show the examiner that you're not stuck with just one answer here, one word, one phrase. All right? So, enjoyable activities can help children's physical and mental development at an important stage. Reading too much at an early age may result in poor eyesight, meaning that children may suffer symptoms of poor vision. Okay. On the other hand, participating, ing, in, this is the fourth time now, or fifth, fun-filled activities such as games or sports, plays, yeah, that's right, an important role in the formulation of teamwork, and healthy competition in learning, which will motivate them to work hard in their future life. For example, a recent study released by Harvard University found that successful business people are often good at sports in their early life. Therefore, what? Where is the takeaway? What's the conclusion that you can give us? Okay, link it back to this initial sentence here. In conclusion, learning by doing is a better study method than reading for children in many ways. Not only can a whole host of knowledge be obtained, but also mental and physical development can be enhanced by the practice of different activities. Okay, so for your first attempt, this is good. All right, I know I corrected quite a bit, but I don't want that to dishearten you. There is room for you to develop, there's room for you to grow, but like I said, for your first attempt, this is good. I need you to correct these essays with the suggestions that I made throughout this correction, and I want you to send them back to us, okay? Then I also want you to write down all the errors that were pointed out to you, and next to each error, I'd like you to write the suggested correction. I want you to send us this document as well, okay? Then I also want you to write a new set of essays while taking into account all of the things that have been mentioned to you in this video correction, okay? You're at a good point, all right? You've got a lot of good elements to your writing. There's some good things happening here, but we have to really pull them together, okay? You need to support your answers. You need to support your ideas. It's really, really of paramount importance. And you have to start taking some risks with your vocabulary, okay? Not so much repetition. I want you to work a little bit on your vocabulary. I want you to work a little bit on the cohesion part of this essay, because you could have linked things together, some ideas, some sentences, really very simply with using words like this, that, such, things, such, whatever. Okay, there's lots of different ways to create cohesion, and I want you to start doing those things as well. So, grammatically, there was some grammar as well. All right, so it's a good essay, but like I said, there is definitely room for improvement. I'm not really sure what score you need. I didn't notice that anywhere in your email, but let's work together to get you the best score that is possible, okay? So go ahead and do those 3 things that I already mentioned, and I'll be here waiting for your next set of essays, okay? Good luck.